Howdy, folk. Well, it's another 10 o'clock in the morning, and the reason that I got my head on here is because my little lady right here told me that something I did not know about her, that she has abilities far and above what I have. And one of those abilities is to have extrasensory perception. Now, a lot of you folks don't know what extrasensory perception is. I certainly don't know what it is, but she's got it, and I'm hoping, seriously folks, I'm hoping that she gets over it. And that she goes to the doctor or a psychologist or a psychiatrist and take those pills and get over this
You can't get over
the ESP
if
thing.
you have it, you have it.
She comes around between 2 and 4 o'clock in the morning and knocks on my door.
No, I don't.
Well, somebody does, I'll tell you that, and I don't like it.
Mm-hmm. He can't handle extrasensory perception. A lot of people can't. Mediumship, medium, you can pick up the messages from the spirits. They can talk to you. People think, quite a lot of people think that's crazy or it's not official. Churches frown on it, it interferes with their business and their authority.
It doesn't interfere with their business.
Well, they think it might. That's why they don't accept it.
How many people do you know personally that who consider themselves to be religious? And what denomination or what you? Oh well, I don't have any denomination. You see, I talk to God. God talks to me. So therefore, I don't need any religious denominations. We have a couple in this building that you obviously know, right?
Yeah, it's associated with insanity. That's why you can criticize it so freely.
I'm tight with God, you see. I was growing up tight with God, yes.
I know, it's got to,
God talks to me. You know what God said the last time he talked to me?
Well, I think God talks to everybody, but, their own person, but, when other different people talk, that's something else.
Well, I don't see any problem psychologically if you're having people in your mind that you know or that you've known in the past who are now talking to you in your mind. Now, as long as they're not telling you to do bizarre, weird things, that is schizophrenia, Now, if you're not, when strangers start talking to you, that's when you got a problem.
Yeah. Well, if you know people well after they die, if you know them very well, you can almost, and I'm a playwright, I've been writing dialogue for years. I've always written everything in dialogue. So if
you gotta move over a little bit.
I could easily imagine what these people were thinking. And
that's what a writer does.
Yeah, and when I do imagine it, I write it down in dialogue.
Write down what they're saying, not what they're thinking.
And if it's accurate, if they're thinking this, or I have picked up their thoughts. I have been able, by knowing them real well, knowing how they think, knowing them in this life, I'm able to sort of deduce what they're thinking and what they would say to me or are thinking at this time. And so I think it's pretty logical, pretty reasonable. Like he said, if I you know, if it's bizarre or, you know. But
Well, the point I'm trying to make is that fact and fiction sometimes are so, it's such a gray area that, you know, the facts and what, as a writer, now see, I'm not a writer, all right? I never have been a writer. The reason I haven't been a writer is because I've never wanted to be a writer. And secondly, if you're really out there in the real world, I mean real world, you have to really pay attention to what other people are doing and other things and like this, you know, movement and crap like that. You don't have time to write.
yeah,
Seriously,
well,
you don't.
I've had a lot of time to
You
write.
show me a guy who's a poet
say now,
that has
like
a real
if
job.
I
and
was
they don't
having
have
a
real
conflict
job.
with someone, I would probably write down everything that I thought they were thinking. I do this with living people. If I'm having a conflict with them, I analyze, figure out why they would think that, and then this prepares me, like if I get an opportunity to write to them or to talk to them, then I would be able to tell them some of what I was thinking. But if they had passed on, then I would just from knowing them and analyzing them and understanding them, and usually the people that I ever pick up or people that I have known very well. So I pick up what they're saying. Like from time to time, people I've known come in and I write down the dialogues. They got a reason, like if somebody in their family is passing on or is sick, they will come in when that happens, and I talk to them about, for example, Dale, someone I knew very well in the past, he comes because his brother is very sick with, and he's expected to pass to the other side very soon, so I could get a dialogue from him. And last night, a person that I have known very well in the past died, and so I was picking up a dialogue from him because I hadn't talked to him for years, and he came through and in the company of the other one. They were good friends at one time, so he came to, and I wrote down what they were saying.
No, wait a minute. You wrote down?
Yeah.
Where were you when you were
On the
writing?
computer.
You wrote down on the computer?
Yeah, the dialogue, just like if I was writing a play.
In other words, you weren't, this wasn't a Twilight Zone?
No,
or dreaming
I
or
wasn't
anything?
seeing them.
You were awake?
For
Fully awake?
years, my communications have come through dialogue that I write down, and always come through that way. I don't, sometimes I'll see them in a dream, but I'll usually be asleep when I dream. Very, very rare would I ever have
Well,
a
there are
manifestation when I
daydreams,
was,
you know.
yeah.
You've heard of daydreaming?
Well, that takes more intensity, like occasionally I'll feel a spirit in the room, and they'll usually be there for a certain reason, a reason why they would manifest stronger. And every once in a while I would feel the presence of a spirit without being on the typewriter, without doing a dialogue.
Will this kill a spirit if I go?
Well, they're probably not going to stick around if you don't want to talk to them. They're only going to
Well,
come
how come they never
if they
show
want
up
to
here?
talk. I want to talk to them every once in a while. They're old friends. I want to talk to them. And if they come to see me, I'm usually available. And we'll have a dialogue, and then they'll leave. That's all I was saying.
Well, do I ever show up in any of your?
Hell no. I come down here and talk to you. I don't need to get you up in my apartment. You call on the phone, I say, bye, I'll see you later. I don't
What do
need.
What do I have to do? Die before I can get into your?
Yeah, that's what you'll
Boy,
have
am
to
I
do.
gonna have
When I don't
one-
see you, then you can probably tap me on the shoulder, say, Doc here, and I might write down what you might say.
Yeah, but maybe if I use a different name, you wouldn't know who it was. You know.
Oh, I think I'd know who you were.
Well, I'm really impressed. I have known, well, probably more than my share of women over my, no, 20 years ago I stopped, okay? But other than that, I've known a lot of women, but I've never known anyone who is such an anomaly to me that she can absolutely talk to I don't get it, you know. My parents are dead, relatives are dead, but they don't talk to me. They really
Listen,
don't.
I
I
have a
have
big
dreams
problem.
about them from sometimes, but they don't, you know, give me any information or about, you know, I just don't know.
I had a very big problem with getting people to talk to me about the subjects that I needed them to talk about. And when I couldn't, I had spirits who came in and talked to me. I had a big need to talk to people.
And these are spirits
yeah.
that you don't know?
Yeah.
They just show
For
up?
years, no.
Just show
No,
up? I mean,
they are my companions, so that I don't have to be alone.
do you
for
name them? Do you
years.
have names or anything like
Of course, I know who they are. They
that? No,
come
I mean, do they have
in.
names?
They come in. Well, for example, James Dean, and everybody knows, was one of my guides for quite a number of years after he died. He was my age, and he just gradually started. I think the dad who died young, he died at 22, so he wasn't really ready to die. So if someone on earth needed him, that I needed someone, and I needed someone to talk about. I was a playwright. I need somebody to talk about plays, movies, the things that I was trying to do that were related. So he came in, and one night I had a very remarkable experience.
If you went any farther over that way, you're getting off the camp.
I know.
Okay.
I had a very remarkable experience with James Dean.
This
He
one ought to
came
be
one
a
night.
hit, right?
Yes, after he died. He came one night and said, Jerry, I'm taking you to a theater in the hereafter, where I am now, and I have a play going that's going to be produced.
Was it on Broadway?
No, well, I don't know, wherever it was. And he took me to the theater. I remember in the dream going to the theater with him. I sat and watched the play the whole time, and I remember how that it was a complex play. It was very interesting. And I was sitting there looking at it, taking it in for as long as it lasted. It was a long play, close to 2 hours. And then I got up with him and came back home. And as soon as I got home, I forgot what the play was about. But I never forgot the experience of him taking me.
Did you smooch or anything like that?
No, it was totally to see the play.
Why? If you're...
Well, look, that's a remarkable experience.
Listen,
a spirit
I'm not
takes me
bisexual or anything
to
like
see
that,
his
but
play.
I would like to say,
in the
shake his
hereafter.
hand and say, James...
Oh, we did. Well, he accompanied me. He took me
But I ain't
into
smooching with him.
to the theater, and
Yeah.
I remember looking
I was
around.
smooching.
I was sitting in the theater, and that was a very remarkable dream. And also, James Dean told me in advance, at least 3 months in advance, when he tried to give me the message that President Kennedy was going to be assassinated.
Oh my God.
So that was a pretty big message.
So he's in that particular conspiracy that
no,
I
he
did not know that.
he knew it in advance.
I
The
did
spirits
not know
know
that.
things like that in advance.
No.
So he told me, and I just racked my brain. I couldn't think. He told me that the guy was in his 40s,
You see how it flipped over?
He was, yes, and he was in his 40s.
Camera's
He was in governmental
cantankerous.
circles, but he was a very theatrical
We love you,
personality. His life was in danger. He was going to die, and I thought, oh, this is serious.
You know what? Why didn't you just...
Well,
casually-
I couldn't even figure out
Why
who it
didn't you just
was.
casually mention, stay away from that Porsche, because that Porsche is not going to do you any good. That Porsche will not help you.
Oh, Texas? Well, he told me this. I was in Las Vegas when I was driving a car down the road, and he came into the car. I knew it was him. He said, I want to give me the message. That is what the message was.
Was he driving his Porsche?
No, he wasn't doing anything other than he came into the car.
Mm-hmm.
He often came into cars because of being killed in a car. And a lot of times
That's what
I
I
would
should
get
have
him.
told him. Stay out of the damn Porsche, man.
I would get him when I was
That's
going
not
on
to
a
be good
trip,
for you.
or when I would dream about him.
Huh.
But he was quite active in my dreams for quite a while, and as a guide, and somebody to talk to. And I wrote a lot of dialogues with James Dean. We just talk about what
Do you
was
have these
bothering
in your
me.
files?
No, I threw them all away. They were dangerous to keep. And I wrote them in little tiny weeny print that I could hardly even read. No, anybody else couldn't. Because, these dialogues were controversial.
Was this some sort of
Assigned, there were people like you
code?
that thought it was like insanity.
Oh, you mean a skeptic like me?
Yeah,
Am
a
I
skeptic like you. But James Dean knew that I needed
How
this.
come these guys never
Didn't have
come and
anybody to
visit
talk
me?
to.
I like James Dean. I thought he did some excellent work. He was exploited
You
by
didn't have
Hollywood.
the need for him.
There
You
is-
were a man. You had plenty of people to talk to you. I didn't have anybody to talk to about real. Oh, and I found out that Elizabeth Taylor I read on the internet, had released information that James.
No.
Okay,
You can't use
All
names
right,
and
I
things
won't.
like
I
that.
won't do that. But it was anyway regarding James Dean in his early life, and
They'll probably cut James Dean out of it. I don't know.
well, I don't
Try
know.
to make
but,
these videos. The next thing
I'm saying
this
something
is,
that
proprietary
might get
words.
censored
That
or
are-
something like
That's
that.
right.
Even
Yeah. You always
even
gotta
they
bring up somebody.
censor.
Why can't you just?
Okay.
Why can't
Okay.
you just
Well,
use
see, he's
people that
trying
nobody
to
knows?
keep me within bounds.
I'd
you
like to
were
get back up on YouTube. Is
You
what
were
I'd like to do.
You were curious
You keep
about getting us.
You keep getting rejected.
Well,
Well,
this
don't
is
bring that
enough
back.
now. You're gonna have to cut this and.
No, there's no big deal. He's dead.
Okay, well, and try doing a shorter one. I think this is plenty longer.